Hey guys, welcome to Heart to Talk, the podcast. I am your host, Theresa Cesare, and you are listening to episode 53. There is nothing more powerful or radical or stunningly beautiful than a woman who chooses to rebuild her life day after day after day, no matter how many pieces there are to pick up or how many mistakes she must spin into gold. Cara Alwell-Liba. I believe that living and honoring an authentic life is the most personal and powerful form of worship. Let us reflect upon the real truths of our lives, the good and what we perceive to be the bad, the challenges. And let's accept our circumstances, and even furthermore, let's bless them. I have learned that acceptance allows us to move forward, lift the veil that fear, shame, judgment, guilt, and self-victimization has over us. And it allows us to pivot into grace, self-forgiveness, and inner peace, and ultimately find solutions. In this episode, I'm going to share with you some ways you can shift your energy and your perceptions so that when you do encounter moments of discomfort or an obstacle, that you may find your way back to your power. Also, may something that I say help you reconcile any pain you have, release you from the impossible pursuit of perfection, and also remind you that there is an infinite amount of grace. So friends, let's get started. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I woke up on a Thursday, right? And just felt off, uncomfortable, and what I like to call out of alignment. Just not connected to myself, my higher self, the flow of the universe. Here's the thing. It is normal to get uncomfortable. It is normal to have an off day and feel sad. But I didn't honor it and I didn't pause. And I didn't implement any of the tools or steps that I normally do when I'm feeling uncomfortable to realign and see what's really happening. So 5 days later, it's a Monday. And within those 5 days, instead of honoring the discomfort, I started to lean into fear, judgment, control of outcomes, circumstances, relationships, you name it. And then ultimately it resulted in a breakdown. It was awful. The worst part was the next morning thinking about a breakdown and feeling shame, guilt, disappointment. And so Thursday comes along. Again, here we go. It's a week. I then lean into my tools and steps, which is just pausing, asking the questions and finding out. Well, the answers that came were, oh my goodness, I am mourning a traumatic experience and memories and feelings that I never dealt with when I got separated from a marriage. I'm mourning my grandmother that died a month ago, and I never had a moment to sit with it and just kept going. And a few other things, right? But the beautiful thing is, what came from this is I had realized that my perceived breakdown was actually my breakthrough. I broke through and healed. It inspired this episode. Kenneth Wapnick says, we should be grateful for all situations that make us most uncomfortable, because without them, we would not know there is something unhealed within us. All right, let's go ahead and jump in to just 3 steps that I'm going to share with you that are simple. And the first one is notice. Notice the discomfort. And usually what's with the discomfort is not just like, I'm uncomfortable, these pants are annoying me. It's, I'm uncomfortable. I'm getting a weird feeling about this person, this relationship, this job, or my intuition's telling me something. There's a red flag. There's something you're ignoring. It's important to pause. Don't ignore it. Ask, right? Maybe take the day off, write some feelings and journal. Speak with someone that's a trusted friend or partner. Usually, when you do those things, answers do arise. Not everything isn't hunky dory. We're allowed to feel sad. We're allowed to be upset. But what happens is when we sit in it too long, like what I did, I sat in that low vibe, misaligned place. I became a magnet for chaos. And that's the problem is when we don't shift out when it's past its due date. Another way too to shift is ask your higher self as well to be guided out of the misaligned thoughts and feelings. Listen and watch something positive. Lean into gratitude. Also lean into joy. There's so much magic when you're having fun. You can quickly alter any state when you lean into joy. And that brings me to the second step, recite positive affirmations. Now, I'm going to give you some here and you can repeat them after me. You can write them down, but you may also find more of my affirmations if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook at I am the affirmation babe. I post weekly affirmations and I go in depth and explain the power behind them so that it gives it soul and you could really get connected in not only think it to believe it, but become it. It's super powerful. You can also go to my website, www.theresacesare.com, where I have a little ebook, everyday affirmations, over 80 affirmations for only $3. I also sell mugs with affirmations. So yes, please go visit those two places, my website and social media. All right, so let's get back to the affirmations in this episode. I accept and bless my circumstances. I turn my pain into power and my wounds into wisdom. Everything is always working out for me. I believe in instant shifts and miracles. My breakdowns are my breakthroughs. I'm filled with divine courage and confidence. My focus is my power. I live within the vibration of pure grace. When I am my authentic self, I am my most powerful self. I forgive my past, I release the future, and I honor how I feel now in the present. I am celebrating all my wins. I am responsible for what I see. Now, that last affirmation, I am responsible for what I see, brings me to the third step. That is empower your perceptions, how you see the world. Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Start with your perceptions of obstacles, right? Honor it. Honor the obstacle by finding the lessons, the light in the darkness, and the breakthrough from the breakdown, because really it's all in your favor. Gabrielle Bernstein says that obstacles are detours into the right direction. See the heartbreak as a way to love yourself more. Losing the job as an opportunity to apply for that better job that maybe you didn't have enough courage to apply for before, or perhaps start that business you've always wanted to start. Don't allow the lost car keys, flat tire, missed flight, not getting that dream job, rejection, all of those to dim your light, but rather view it as protection and redirection from the universe. So the other part to this of honoring the obstacle is honor yourself. You don't have to be perfect. Do not spend time in shame and guilt. Forgive yourself right away. Don't beat yourself up over mistakes. Quickly return to grace and remember to spin those mistakes into gold. Gabrielle Bernstein also says that the moment we choose to perceive our pain as the catalyst for great healing and growth, we realign with the power of the universe. This gratitude helps you get out of the feeling of being the victim and into a state of positivity. Friends, may the steps that I shared help you reconcile any pain you have, release you from the impossible pursuit of perfection, and remind you that there is an infinite amount of grace and that at any moment you could think a new thought, tell a new story, and shift your energy and perceptions so that when you do encounter discomfort or an obstacle, you may find your way back to your power by honoring the obstacle and yourself, by spinning your mistakes into gold and turning your breakdowns into breakthroughs. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. So grateful and honor you. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and follow this podcast. Also, download your favorite episodes as well as this one. Share this podcast with all your friends and family. And lastly, follow me on Instagram and Facebook for updates and projects that I'm involved with. Otherwise, I'll be back in 2 weeks.